The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.
onto the starting grid then for this one. It's going to be a very interesting battle. There is the grid. Mohamed Ibrahim and Sai Sanjay on the front with Amit Kuti and Sai Saran. Narajan Kumar on a poor qualifying for Sai Prithvi, starting back there in 6th place. Oshan Kothadi and Raghav Budaraja make the top 8 around this place. And you can see Bel Warrior, Samravel, Medirata, Kavin, Dodia, Kaushik, Vijay Raj, and of course Kupta making up the 16 as we get ourselves underway for racing action. We're looking on forward here with the number 8 machine here off of this start, and that is of course going to be a pretty good jump from Sai and Sanjay. Mohamed Ibrahim though has got the whole shot in through turn number 1. One vehicle running off wide, that will be Kofadir, I do believe that is, just running it off of the track, so that's not ideal as they go through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel for the first time. Ibrahim exactly where he wants to be at the front of the field. Sanjay there in 2nd position. Wide goes Kuti through the corner, trying to gather it back up again, and under pressure now here for 3rd place in this 20-minute event. Going down the long hanger straight here as Narajan Kumar fights it out in 6th place as well. Down the inside of Kofadir, make sure that is 5th position right now. Kofadir goes off the circuit, someone's gone far off the circuit. A big bit of contact in the background there. Who on earth was that who ran himself into a whole heap of troubles? Someone's going straight on, that's Karan Koshik. And I think it was Raiden Samaravel who sicked in the championship who went off. And there's a spinner in the background as well, as that is both Raghav Budaraja and Bel Warrior. And then Sunil Kupta's off as well at the back of the pack. So dramas as Budaraja loses it trying to gather the car back up on circuit over the grass on the outside. That forces Ujwal Bel Warrior off the circuit, who can't gather the car up in the grass, finds the wall and loses the nose. And ultimately, 3 or 4 casualties then in just the opening lap of this event. No such casualties at the front of the field though for your race leaders. There is Ujwal Bel Warrior without the front nose, and without the front wing I should say, on that machine, and running into a world of hurt in the early stages. 2nd position, Sai Sanjay, leader, Mohamed Ibrahim, exactly how he envisaged it, out in front, unchallenged through turn 1, and Sai Saran here in 4th position right now. Mirrors full of Narajan Kumar in 5th place, Kothadiya in 6th. And then you've got Prithvi in 7th, who desperately needs to get through all of these drivers today in order to find some points. And on top of what's going on today, we have, of course, a few questions to ask you. There is a giveaway available, so answer these questions in the place available needed in the YouTube comments and Facebook comments. Question 1, which F1 season had the most different drivers winning a Grand Prix? Question 2, when and where was McLaren F1's last race win? And question 3, which F1 driver has the most podiums without a win in the championship? Answers on a postcard, answers every which way as we look slowly at Sai Prithvi going through on Oshan Kothadiya, up then into 6th position in the yellow Dallara F3. Narajan Kumar chasing down in 5th place. Mr. Consistency has finished 4th or 5th for the majority of the races this season, I should say, and has done so to the chagrin of a lot of other drivers over the course of the racing action that we have had so far. So Narajan Kumar does want to get on through, does want to jump up into that 4th place, but we'll have to be patient, we'll have to be cautious about doing so here today. It's not going to be an easy drive to pick up these places, as every single position matters. It still has to be said that not losing position sometimes matters a lot more than going out there and making it happen. Wide goes the man just in front of the long Cops corner. Very easy to get it wrong with that small strip of grass on the outside, and this is how everyone stands up. You've got the likes of Siddharth Medirata, who's being watched today with Vincenzo Amico, someone who has a lot of respect in terms of the team that Medirata runs for at the moment, in 8th place. Here looks like Prithvi though in 6th, trying to get through to 5th position right now. Narajan Kumar, this is the prime place to get it done on the hanger straight, down into Stoke corner and down the inside. That is 2 in 2 laps now for Sai Prithvi, but there is that chance to attack back. Narajan Kumar not quite in position to make that happen, and as such has to stay behind. So Prithvi inside the top 5 and starting to find a run. You can run very wide over that Vodafone bit of sponsorship there on the outside. So long as you don't tag the grass, you're not going to get a 1x instant point around this place. The gap at the front up to 2.2 seconds right now for Mohamed Ibrahim, but for the moment Prithvi is not comfortable in 5th position, trying to make a charge through the field. Saran will be next, and then it'll be his driver behind him in the championship, Amit Kuti, who desperately wants to try and take some points away, but it looks like Sai Sanjay is doing the job for Mohamed Ibrahim. It's effectively a rear gunner, not necessarily the same team, but a rear gunner, which is really not helping things. So Prithvi looking to try and chase on down here in this one, as we look at Amit Kuti here in 3rd position, not a million miles away here from Sai Sanjay in 2nd position, and the key for Kuti is damage limitation. If he can't get to the back of Mohamed Ibrahim, who makes seldom mistakes, zero mistakes, the only time he's been in trouble over the course of racing action this season was at Daytona, when of course himself and Kuti came together in the opening race, near the back of the pack for the 2nd race that they had at Daytona, and ultimately it was a case of winning was not an option there. But Sai Sanjay at the moment is keeping pretty well in terms of this pace, hasn't really fallen back, has really put in a nice stint here. We're already 1/4 of the way through this one. We are absolutely flying through the field at the moment and flying through the race with Naranjan Kumar here in 6th, struggling a little bit there with the blinking from one Mr. Sai Prithvi. That wouldn't have been ideal. It would have taken the draft away as well, ever so slightly, as Sai Saran in 4th position, using all of the track, going through the long right there of Bridge and into Priory Corner. It's so easy for it to go horribly wrong around this place if you do start making a couple of mistakes here and there going through. Kothadia there just behind in 7th, and there is Ujwal Belwaria all the way down in 15th place. Of course, was part of the amateur division, got a couple wins, got promoted up into the pro division, and was doing a really good job over the course of this one right now. A little bit unlucky over the opening here in this one, but in a fight with Raiden Samaravel here for 14th place. And okay, this is down near the back of the pack, but every point matters for someone like Raiden Samaravel. 6th place in the championship, but for how much longer is going to need a lot of help when it comes to getting back through the pack. Of course, there is a top 12 reverse in this series for the next race. It's effectively 2 20-minute races, one today, one tomorrow, and the key as well is going to be being inside of that top 12, getting yourself pole position for the next race and making sure it works. Belwaria trying to find a way down the inside, just won't get the drive off the exit. That's what that outside parabola is able to give you as Belwaria starts to chase and looks here, maybe the outside here towards Cops Corner. This is going to be brave here on the number 64 as they go through the long right, and I think that's well defended there by Raiden Samaravel, who knew he needed to drive middle of the road, and it worked absolutely fantastically. But the next prime place is after these few corners, through Maggots, through Beckett's here the left, and then Chapel the right as they go on through. This is all about setup through this section and trying to find the overtake. A, S, A, and P, and Samaravel here, who's looking like the middle of the road, is the best place to be at this moment in time. Is Belwaria close enough to go and make a move? Answer to that one is a no. So taking the big wide line is not going to be paying off, though, for the time being. Meanwhile, though, in terms of the races that we were keeping an eye out on, it's pretty even gaps all the way down the mid-pack at the moment from Budaraja, Kaushik, Dodia, Vijay Raj and Kavin at the moment. You could even put Medarata in that group, so 8th down to 13th. They've all got a couple of seconds here and there, and you can now put Oshan Kofdir in the mix on top of that as well. But this battle for 5th and 6th is continuing to just stay a little stagnant here. Saran just holding offside Prithvi's charge, and Prithvi just holding off the maybe advances that are coming in from Naranjan Kumar, who has been Mr. Consistency so far this season. Saran going through then at the Stowe corner and looking to attack at the bottom end of this Northamptonshire circuit. Of course, this place holds a lot of keys to British motorsport and has been a part, of course, where the British drivers, or the BDRC, definitely makes its home, and that, of course, is at Brooklands Corner, where they find home. Narajan Kumar, though, he's looking really good in the middle sectors of these laps, just trying to bring that gap in where someone like Sai Prithvi does struggle to carry the speed and carry the momentum, it seems, through a couple of these corners. It doesn't look like that Prithvi has put himself in the best possible position to make this move, but he has to find a way. He's gone through half the race. He started in 7th position on the grid. Sorry, he started in 6th. He dropped back to 7th and then got himself back into 5th. So he's done all the hard yards to get that 1-place gain at the moment. But speaking of hard places gained, someone who's not here today, though, is Rohit Raut, who is taking this race off, it seems, for these reasons. But we did have an opportunity to go and sit down and have a little chat with him and say, well, what do you like? What do you not like?
I'm Rohit. I am an engineer and I work with Dassault Systems as a creative designer, and I like the sports. I've been doing sim racing, like I have a sim from past 4 years, but I was not that serious until last few months, and I do follow a lot of motorsports on television.
A good run then from Sai Prithvi coming out of the club corner, and a run to bridge. You've got to try and be really brave if you make a move through here, but no chances yet for Prithvi as he takes the big wide line, trying to open up the corner, has to jam on the brakes through Priory for fear of running into the back of Sai Saran, who locks up and goes wide. Now, this is bringing all three of them a little close together, and we catch this on the replay. You can see he gets right up underneath, jams on the brakes, locks the inside front, and kills all momentum moving through to Brooklands Corner, but able to keep this race going the way that he would want to right now. Sai Prithvi knows he needs to start attacking. Saran is making mistakes. They go through Cops, turn number 1, out here on the circuit, looking towards, of course, the lefts and rights of Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel as well. And this is a key little battleground with first, second, and third not making progress here in terms of their fights, although Amit Kuti has brought that gap down to 8/10 of a second right now. Prithvi just can't get enough of a run here coming through this section. There is Amit Kuti in third position. He's not a million miles away, and I've said that more than once here on this broadcast. He's not a million miles away, but that's the truth. He is within a range where he is getting that drop, he is getting that advantage, he is putting the pressure on Sai Sanjay in what is going to be that second position. All he has to do is try and unlock it, and maybe he's just trying to play that waiting game to make sure that that becomes a reality. Meanwhile, got a couple of battles going on towards the rear of the pack right now. Karan Koshik is under pressure from Raghav Budaraja. Divyang Godia is closing in on Vishwash Vijay Araj as well out there on track. So they're all starting to close in on each other a little bit. But Araj is looking for a really good run here to try and get up into position number 12. And that's a key position, 12. It gives you pole position for the reverse grid. And when Budaraja hasn't had the best of racing here today, of course that spin on lap 1 didn't help. This is where you need to really start attacking. 5 laps to go. Much more of a shallower line through that corner. Unable to carry as much speed, but that won't matter too much here. It's such a short run from Priory to Brooklands, and you don't necessarily always find that as an overtaking place out here on this circuit. Of course, you talk about the mid to late 90s, that would have been a prime place to see overtaking. But Raghav Budaraja, not quite there at the moment. And that is very, very key to how this race is going on. It's all about finding the move. But at the moment, the move, just very simply put, has not been found at this moment in time. So more to be found here. Divyang Donia in 11th is hoping he's got the last place in the top 10. Well, you're not going to get that if you run that wide, and that's going to have to be gathered back up again and fall straight into the clutches of those behind. Godia now is going to be a sitting duck for Karan Koshik, who's going to go to the inside here to try and pick up this move. Raghav Budaraja is not close enough to really capitalise, and on the inside, what can Divyang Godia do to defend on the outside? And the answer is, well, he's going to stick the nose in, go the full way around, and Raghav Buddharaj has got to be very cautious about where he places the car. There is Dodia. He'll have to yield here through this club corner, and ultimately Karen Koshik has found a way through, but Buddharaja wants to try and attack, and he'll want to try and do so quickly here around the outside, and Divyang Dodia lifts out of it, gives Raghav Buddharaja the move inside the top 12. That will be pole position if things stay like this for the next race, which will be coming up, of course, tomorrow. Second and third, though, they are nose to tail almost now here in this one, as Amit Kuti and both also Sai Sanjay run wide through turn number one. They've got to be careful about doing that here today. It can very easily go wrong as these two look to scrap it out between each other. That's a case of following braking markers in front. It's so easy to do, but they are trying to battle for podium places. Kuti wants to put some daylight between himself and Sai Prithvi behind, who is in second in the championship, 5th position overall in this race, and unable to get past Sai Saran. So you've got the likes of Sai Sanjay here, who is just holding up enough. Amit Kuti, both of whom can't do enough to catch Mohamed Ibrahim, who hasn't walked away at the rate of other races here in this one, but it has been a relatively quiet one for him at the front of this field. From Pune in India he is, as Kuti right now wants to try and get that second place, but again he's got to play the waiting game. He's been chipping off a 10th here and chipping off a 10th there. It's been working for the majority of this race and how it's been going on, but now you've got to try and get into that pretty much end game. People talk about 2-minute drill when it comes to American football. That's a little slide, taking a little bit too much go. That's Sai Prithvi in 5th position, still unable to find a way through. On one, Mr. Sai Saran, who again is just driving the absolute perfect defensive race at the moment and covers off Sai Prithvi in the areas where he needs to be aggressive. He takes the big wide line though, and that will open up the door slightly here for Prithvi. He gets a good run off of the exit, and now this could be the chance to move up into 4th place. Looking through Woodcote corner to Cops, it may have to be hard to the pit wall, and Prithvi will have to go the long way round to make this one happen. This is brilliant defending there by Sai Saran, using all of the road, taking the line away from Sai Prithvi, and ultimately choking him out of a position effectively. And now Naranjan Kumar wants in. He's not going to give up on a 4th position either here in terms of this battle as they go on through. This one happening about 13 seconds off the race lead. Second and third also still going on as they are starting to weave a little bit on the straights, trying to find ways through, but not finding enough of battles at the moment. Kuti is just there, but not enough to really make a huge punch to try and get that position. It's got to be some aggressive driving with not long remaining here in this race. Sai Sanjay there in that second position is doing well. No changes through Stowe corner then for Prithvi, for Saran, and for Naranjan Kumar, who has been very, very subtle about the way he's been battling. That's a great wide line from Kumar there in 6th position. And Naranjan Kumar looking for the inside, but is this going to be half defended here with the toe? It is, as all three of them run through bridge once again, searching for places, searching for positions, trying to open up these battles. And there's a little look at the chance on the inside from Naranjan Kumar. Does start to run wide. Now they start to just check each other up a little bit, and they can't afford to do this too often here. They've got 2 laps to go around this place by calculations at this stage. Mohamed Ibrahim absolutely flying at the front of the field, but second and third scrapping, 4th, 5th and 6th scrapping, and 4th, 5th and 6th are scrapping whilst chasing down Ryden Samaravel in 16th place for lapped down traffic. So that's also going to be playing into a factor here potentially in the final 2 laps of this event. Prithvi going through the left and the right. We're going to step aside for about 10 seconds here, so we'll be back with more after this. There's a couple of drivers who need some wings at this stage. They hit the brakes going through Stoke corner, 4th, 5th and 6th position. Right now, all nose to tails. They have been all race long. They've all been working out, can we make some moves? Prithvi's been unable to. Same for Naranjan Kumar as they've tried to battle and tried to go through. It's been a case of what can I find late in this race. A lot of drivers haven't. Let's move a little bit forward, shall we, to 2nd and 3rd position, hopefully, because that gap really, really close as well out here on circuit as Prithvi here in 5th position wants to try and get through, but again, it's just got to take that wide line and checks himself up, and this allows Niranjan Kumar maybe a chance to get through. No, doesn't quite find it. There'll be 1 lap to go here at the line, with 2nd and 3rd still to be decided, with 4th, 5th and 6th still to be decided here in this race, as everyone starts to search for that one final place that they have available to them. This is Amit Kuti in 3rd. Wide went Sai Sanjay in 2nd position right now, and Kuti has to be aggressive now, has to turn the wick to 11, so to speak, and find this move on the final lap of this race. Knows that Mohamed Ibrahim is gone here in terms of this one. No chance of taking that win. He's almost a hanger straight ahead at this point. But the key is, well, every position has to be found, and nobody has been able to manage it so far in the final 10 minutes. Sai Prithvi looking to attack, looking for a place. Is there going to be anything here? As that is Saran going defensive here, searching for a way through. Which way do you want to go, Sai? He'll have to look on the long way around because he's not quite in a place to attack. He's got to get a good run out of this corner though. Has he got that run? It's very well defended then by Saran, going through towards the Vale and Club corner, and once more there's not much there. There is Mohamed Ibrahim going through Priory corner, doing a brilliant job. There is Prithvi looking to attack and trying to pick up this move maybe into Bridge. He's got to be aggressive, he's got to go for the 50-50 move, and is this one being defended? It absolutely is here from Saeed Saran going on through. Is there a look at the inside? There isn't. Mohamed Ibrahim won't mind. He's going to pick up the race victory here and gets his 7th of the season. It's going to be Sanjay who holds off Kuti for 2nd and 3rd, and for 4th, 5th, 6th, we'll keep this one in mind. This is going to be close. Saran has got it all at the moment. How does the run off the exit? It's good enough. Sai Prithvi has been held up and bottlenecked from a brilliant defensive performance from Sai Saran to keep 4th place. Kumar will take 6th place overall, and then you've got the likes of Kothadia in 7th. Medarata will come home to 8th. Cabin into 9th position. Vishwash Vijayaraj will take the top 10 around in this one. And then you've got those in 11th and 12th, and that is Karen Kaushik there in 11th, and Raghav Budaraja rounding out the top 12 then. Divyang Dodia is on the outside looking in then from this event. Confirmation then of results will be scored when Sunil Kukta does come over the start-finish line, but Mohamed Ibrahim, 6 seconds the margin of victory. It doesn't matter if it's an inch, doesn't matter if it's a mile. A win is a win is a win, and that will extend the championship lead on a day which now means that Mohamed Ibrahim could very easily move over 50 points clear in the championship. Sai Sanjay finishes this one in 2nd, holding off Amit Kuti from now until the end, with Sai Saran in 4th position. 5th would go to Sai Prithvi, with Niranjan Kumar in 6th place. Following that is Oshan Kothadia and Siddharth Medarata rounding out the top 8 here in this one. B. Kavin will get 9th place, with Vishwash Vijayaraj in 10th place, with Karan Koshik and Raghav Budaraja starting on pole position for tomorrow's race in 12th place. The final 4 finishers, or well, we could definitely say 4 finishers here in this one. Got Divyang Dodia, Ujwal Belwaria, Sunil Kukta, and Raiden Samaravel. Belwaria, Kukta, and Samaravel all running into issues on the opening lap of the race and searching for results here in terms of this one. We are going to get, though, some driver interviews all sorted out and ready. First and foremost, we're going to jump with the driver who finished in 3rd position overall, and that is Amit Kuti. Now, Amit, that was a race where I think you had to try and work hard to try and get to Sai Sanjay. Was that just a case of Sanjay just having enough in the tank to maybe just keep you at bay?
So, to put it in plain words, it was quite a boring race, and there was a lot of dirt here, and since there's a lot of understeer, this new setup, there's also a lot of dirt here, and it's almost impossible to get like below 6/10 of the guy ahead. And I think the only chance where I got was a back marker kind of holding him up, but he held that off, and other than couldn't have done anything. So I just wanted to bring it home in 3rd, and I'm pretty happy with the result. So yeah.
Are happy with the result, but it seems like you definitely have a few frustrations here today. Do you feel like that's going to make life maybe a little bit more difficult then for the race that's coming up tomorrow, seeing as drivers are struggling to go and make overtakes?
Yeah, it should be quite difficult to try and overtake, and especially considering there's no big braking zone in this circuit. So it's going to be tough. Although the circuit is wide, it'll still be really tough to make overtakes. So let's see what happens tomorrow. There should be a quite less number of cars, I think, considering how much were there today. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow's a good race.
Well, you're hoping tomorrow's a good race, but before we let you go, shout out sponsors, anyone you'd like to thank.
Yeah, I'd like to thank IR Esports, Mumbai Falcons, and Volkswagen Motorsport. It's been a while since the last race, so it's good to be back. And yeah, it's a really good initiative again, which they are bringing in, and it's only going to grow more and more.
Kuti there, picking up third position overall. Hoping that we're going to have this ability to talk to Mohammed Ibrahim right now. Picks up the race victory overall. Mohammed, that goes down as probably one of the easier victories that you've had. You led from lights to flag. Nobody got anywhere near close enough to really give you a challenge. And clean air, it seems, is your best friend.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I think it is my best friend. I had good pace, so I could just manage it from the front. Yeah, so it was quite easy out there actually.
Well, easy to manage from the front, but there were some other keys out there on circuit in terms of a lot of drivers racing out there. It seems like everyone was having a little bit of a struggle here and there with the dirty air and the updates to the vehicle. Is that something that really does pay a lot of attention to in terms of trying to understand the setup changing from season to season in iRacing terms and not necessarily this championship? And on top of that, having to try and rework on what is effectively a car that is constantly changing, as is the iRacing service.
Yeah, the car has been changing a lot actually because there was an update I think a few weeks ago, and they didn't do any setup changes. So the ride height was really low, and the car was bottoming out. It was quite unstable. But now they've made some setup adjustments, and they've made it really safe. So there's lots and lots of understeer. So I had to get used to that. I only had a few laps to get used to it.
Well, only a few laps to get used to it, but now you've got a few more laps to get used to it for tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot more difficult due to the fact that you've got a lot of drivers who will be dealing with the dirty air, you yourself included. But it's been a case for you over the course of this season that when you've won here in this opening race, you've managed to put the reverse grid race in your favour. Is this going to be something a little bit different, say, if things don't go as chaotic as they have been in prior races?
Yeah, it all depends on what happens in the first lap, because I think if I can get through safely, I should be able to make my way through. But it all depends what happens in the first lap, because it's all about surviving and keeping the car clean. Yeah, so that's very important.
Well, before we let you go here, Mohammed, a big victory again, your 7th of the season. Shout out sponsors, who gets it done?
Yes, I would like to thank you, the commentators. I would like to thank Mohit Dinodia, IR Esports, Volkswagen Motorsport India, Mumbai Falcons, and whoever has been part of this league. I really thank you all, and see you. Bye.
Mohammed Ibrahim then picking up the race victory then overall. We are going to try and jump in with someone that we don't normally talk with. Karen Kolchik picked up 11th place overall today and is stood by right now. Now, Karan, that would be a race that would have been maybe a little bit more frustrating than a few others, but there is, of course, that silver lining for you today, and that's the fact that you have a front row start for tomorrow.
A beautiful start for tomorrow, exactly the way I want it for tomorrow, but we'll see how we can hold up if I can keep the P1 there. But yeah, today was definitely a frustrating race. Was caught behind 3-4 people battling it out. We never really switched positions. There was a lot of dirty air. It wasn't a boring race completely, but it was not exciting either. So yeah.
Well, you had a very big battle towards the end of that race with Divian Dodia and Raghav Budaraja. Was that a case of maybe thinking about, okay, this championship's pretty close, we're all fighting for a top 6 finish come the end with everybody looking to fight, and maybe you yourself a little bit behind that in terms of the races, just trying to get some good, consistent finishes on the board. But was that a case of just trying to get some good points in, get some good momentum going, maybe for season 5 of the championship, you might be in a better place?
Yep, definitely. I don't think I'm anywhere near contentions for top 6. I'm not sure about the standings yet. but the racing was good. It was pretty tense in the final few laps, with Raghav closing behind me and Divyang made a mistake and I almost ran into the back of him. So that was a pretty intense race. Me and Divyang have always been similar on pace and we've had amazing battles previously. And this was really well. I wasn't sure if I could hold off Raghav behind me, but yeah, in the end I could. He did push me a little, but kept my calm, didn't do any mistakes, and yeah, that was some good points.
Well, good points are certainly needed here in this championship, and that is a solid finish nevertheless. Karen Koshik then picking up 11th place overall then in this one. Will get a second place start for racing action going on tomorrow. But that will bring to an end proceedings then today from Silverstone. We'll be back with this race, of course, the next round of the championship tomorrow, as well as we'll have the amateur category division as well, looking to get into some racing action. And of course, there's a huge host of people that needs to be thanked for the work that they have done today. Of course, you've got the likes, of course, of the Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited. You've got Volkswagen Motorsports India. And, of course, you have got Gaming Connect as well. We are hashtag Gamer Connect for this one overall. Of course, the likes of Indy Karting and, of course, Raya Racing have been brilliant as well. This has been an IR Esports broadcast. My name's been Jake Sperry, and it is again Mohammed Ibrahim who is starting to waltz away towards a title here and picking up that so important victory. And it's not even been a case of anyone really being close enough to challenge. These have been walkaway wins for Mohammed Ibrahim. And anyone who's hoping to pick up a race tomorrow and pick up a victory tomorrow, they are hoping for one thing and one thing only. They are hoping that Dirty Air has a big part to play in terms of the way that the races will be going on. We'll
The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a zero becomes a one, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.
They start right now. Great start from the number 10 at the front of the field, getting exactly what was wanted. Aditya pulls away at the front. You can see them all fanning, looking for gaps as they go towards the brakes of turn 1. Very easy to get this one wrong, and someone's already gone in the background there about mid-pack, and they start to fall into troubles in the middle to the late. Someone's gone off there at turn 1 and is able to get it back together again, running wide, but ultimately a couple of drivers in the background had run into troubles in the early stages. None such at the front at the moment, with the air currently clear at the moment, but for second, third, fourth and fifth, all looking like they're getting a little bit closer here on the brakes. They all try to funnel on through here the next couple of corners, trying to find exactly what they need out here on track, and it's a nice run. Sidaf Snell, though, is in. Oh my goodness me, Janak Panchal has completely T-boned Sidaf Snell. Surely you have to call a safety car for a huge incident like that. We got drivers without tyres after a massive incident at the back of the pack. But ultimately, race continues at the moment. Sheck in second, and in third position, we've got 4 drivers in the pits after the opening lap's worth of racing. So it all goes wrong right at the very beginning of this race. So Aditya, leading this one at the front, started on pole position and has got exactly what he's wanted. A breakaway here at the front of the pack. You can't really argue too much against Aditya at this moment. There is Devjit Dark in third position. He'll want to get as close as possible, but he runs wide into the gravel there on the exit of turn 3. It's way too easy to do, and all of a sudden, around the outside goes Amitesh Rao, and into third place then, getting that one just like that, going through then. It's a very, very quick lap around this place. You've got to be alert here to making sure that you do not make mistakes out around this place. And of course, we've got the Pro Division event, the 12-car reverse grid, coming up a little later on, ladies and gentlemen. That one coming to you from Silverstone. But Ritesh Rai in 5th position. He'll want to get on the back of this and starting to attack A, S, A and P here going through the final corner. You can see how all these drivers take slightly different lines through here and look to try and make sure they get all that they want. A couple of questions though for you today for the giveaway right now. Firstly, how many drivers have won 5 or more Formula 1 World Championships? Question 2, what major milestone did Lewis Hamilton achieve today? And question 3, who has won the most Formula 1 World Championships? Answers on a postcard or in the comments below on YouTube and on Facebook Live as well. You've got that opportunity to do so. Prasanna Rajan, though, in 8th place, will want to make sure that he is not battling for just that 8th position. He wants 7th at this stage. He's looking to try and be aggressive and find some places. On the brakes, he goes into turn number 6. Out on track and not quite there just yet, but there is time, of course, on the horizon to make sure that this is going on. We're not even a quarter of the way through this race, and Rajan just needs to be very cautious here through the S's section, get a good run here, or maybe rely on a mistake here and a mistake there. Here's some side-by-sides. This is Ritesh Rai in 4th position. They go through the final corner, give each other just enough room on exit. And now this is going to be a 3-car scrap. You can see Debjit Adark is in there as well. Amitesh Rao, Ritesh Rai, and that is Debjit Adark splitting the middle of them and making the move stick. That is wonderfully worked at this stage. Rai gets down the inside as well and moves up into 4th position. So great work, great overtaking, and that is a brilliant, brilliant pass being done then in the early stages of this race, and more needing to be done. They've got to be careful about how aggressive they are out here on circuit as they start to get looking towards the next couple of corners. On the brakes they go into the next left, nothing doing just yet here at Summit Point. So Ritesh Rai, 4th place, but work to be done here. It's all about picking up a good run. They've allowed Navneet Chowdhury on to the back, so Navneet will definitely want to try and get as close as possible here, gain the place to move up into 5th place, but there are no guarantees right now. Debjit Adark, who actually did drop back into 5th place through all of that. It wasn't Adark who split through the middle of everyone. It was, in fact, I believe, Amitesh Rao who had gone through on everyone to gain that place. He's done a wonderful, wonderful job of making all of that happen. Navneet trying to look down the inside, but not quite close enough just yet to make that move, but there is still time on the horizon, and there won't be too many upset voices in the early goings. You've got to stay within a range around this place. It might take 2, maybe even 3 laps to get one overtake sorted out, so you've got to be cautious, you've got to be calm around this place to make sure that moves are done. This is more of a club track, some would say, in terms of what Summit Point has hosted. It's definitely not the traditional track that you find on the iRacing service with the big drones that go around time and time again. That's a small mistake actually in front in 4th position. They're just moving slightly wide through the corner, had to compromise the run on exit, and suddenly Debjit Adark has a chance here to really attack the final corner on the brakes, carry the momentum here in the number 8 machine and make some progress to try and move on through. Looking a little bit into the mirrors, trying to make the car as wide as possible. These Dallara F3s, is there going to be a chance into turn number 1? Well, there's thoughts about it. How late on the cones do you brake? The answer is enough at this stage to just hold the place for the time being. Debjit Adark, no real worries at all. There's your race leader, DJ, yeah. Just behind that, Ver Sheikh, 1.8 seconds back at this moment in time and keeping close company in terms of this battle. A lot can happen, has happened over the course of racing right now, but they know what they need to do, and that is score and score big here in this race. There is Amitesh Rao, currently in 6th position. Looks like Chowdhury is out of the race potentially, or not. So ultimately, not ideal at all. Navneet Chowdhury is out with damage and did so coming out of turn number 3. Grabbed the gravel and then just looking at it, it was just going through the corner and ultimately grabbed grass on entry towards turn 5 and speared straight into the tyres. So out goes Navneet Chowdhury from this race, and that will promote the likes of Prasanna Rajan to 6th now even, and Dushyant into 7th place. Prasanna Rajan started 16th, mind you. and is already up now into 6th place in this race. Has really made some good work in this event so far, and it could be 5th and it could be 4th place if not too careful in terms of the run that we have going on right now. So this is all working out quite nicely earlier on, but that certainly doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Going through the next right and trying to attack here this lap. They are already 8 minutes through this race at this moment in time, just 12 remaining, so nearly at the halfway stage, and it has just cooled down a little bit in terms of the battling that we've got going on as they go on through the next right at turn number 1, which does feed into turn number 2 on exit, and there is your race leader Aditya Ayer, who already has a little bit of lapped traffic to go and deal with in front, which will not be ideal for Ayer's style of driving at this stage, but he has pulled the gap out now to 2.1 seconds here to the race leader, 6, maybe even 7 seconds clear of Amitesh Rao in 3rd position. So Ayer doesn't really have to worry too much about who's behind. This is one of the few tracks where you can say that there aren't too many places to be worrying about, and that is Debjit Duck falling back into 9th position, has completely missed his braking point, it seems, at turn 6, and has gone into the grass, trying to bring this one back. We're catching that on the super slow-mo, but now back out of, or back onto circuit and away again in 9th, and it could very soon be 10th place, because that's Yash Kara who wants to try and find a way by, and is going to try and look the long way around to make that happen, and that doesn't quite pay off at the moment. So time to be had, time to be gained. Who can do what they need to? Someone's off in front. That is Dushyant in a little bit of trouble, and it's some side-by-side battling here as Yash Kara goes through. A Dark wants to come back. There is Dushyant on the exit. Oh, a little bit of contact as they go through. They're lucky they... Oh, no, there it is. Bang, hard into the wall. Both of them go. Both of them out of the race. Just like that, they got spooked by Dushyant rejoining onto the circuit. They both had to get it nice and close. There was a bit of contact, side pod to front left tyre, and then ultimately trying to take the racing line wasn't clear. Yash Kara, and bang into the concrete wall hard. Kara without a wheel there in the rear left, trying to get back going again. Debjit Dark out of the race. So Aditya Ayer currently leading this one at the halfway stage, but let's get a little chat with who thinks they have maybe a good chance here today.
So my name is Yadullah. I'm a student and a freelancer by profession, and I race cars in my free time. On the front, I'm a second-year student at the Delhi University. Otherwise, on the side, I work as a freelance web developer and a photographer and a filmmaker. I also have hands in designing stuff, so creative sports, graphics designing, and things like that. And I work on some low-level hardware.
Well, that is Yadullah Abidi, who is in 6th position right now. Started today in 14th, is up 8 places in this race and has really profited off of everything right now. So that has all worked very, very nicely in terms of the way this one's going here. But there is Aditya Ayer at the front of the pack, but the gap has come down. It's 1.4 seconds, and there is someone pulled over to the side and now out of the race, just trying to get an eye out on who that was who was pulled off to the side of the circuit then and deciding to stop. And I've just managed to find it. It was Frisbee KB who was 4 laps down and effectively race over at this stage. You're not going to find too many more points than that one. This is Via Sheikh, though, in what is going to be 2nd position, chasing down and looking to try and get 10th on 10th on 10th. Amitesh Rao's not a million miles away in 3rd, but a little bit too far back, you'd say, at this stage to really have any progress on this one. Ritesh Rai in 4th position is trying to just keep the car on the island, and you feel like every position now is all about survival in the final 8 minutes of those a little bit further back. Tej Patel in 7th place, just run a little bit wide through turn number 6, then leading into turn 7, trying to find the next place, which is right in front, and trying to gain a little bit of time here and a little bit of time there. It is so easy to lose time, but it's also very easy to gain time as well around this place and find everything that is very much needed. Patel is close, but at the moment he is definitely not close enough to go and make that move. Sheikh, though, for example, in 2nd position, he's just got the gap down under 1 second. So Tej Patel there in 7th is chasing well, but the lead battle is closing, and, well, what's the next word? Closing at this stage. They can see the top 2 getting a little bit caught up here with lapped traffic. It's not ideal at this stage, especially around a tight circuit like this one. They deal with one, they dispatch one bit of lap traffic, but the next one is on the horizon, and Vierchef definitely needs to find a way through here because they've got Siddharth Snell just in front in 11th place that they'll have to try and get away by soon. Sheck all over the back, hoping that there is going to be an overtake here into turn number 1, and there very might will be here with just under 7 minutes to go. Can see Siddharth Snell pulling over to one side, nice bit of toe taken away, but Vierchef, he'll want through. He won't get that just yet, but he'll have to just play patience here because Aditya Ayer is just managing the gaps at the moment at the front of this pack. They do have Amitesh Rao as well to worry about in 3rd place, but Aditya Ayer going through the left then of turn number 3, the small right of 4th. There's the gap. It's 7/10 of a second as they descend down the hill and hit the brakes into the next left-hand bend of turn number 6, and then the long right of turn number 7, which goes on forever and ever around this place. Then that leads to 8 and 9 here, the switchback section, the left and the right. So that's where the dirty air effects go to come into play, and then you got that run towards turn number 10, which does end the lap. It seems like Aditya Ayer and Vierchef are in a really nice position. They want that battle to just be about them. Well, if you're a you hope you don't have a battle at all here towards the end of this race, but it's a case of looking in the mirrors and hoping there isn't going to be any small mistakes that will be punished and capitalised on at this moment. Slightly missed apex for Aditya Ayer through turn number 1. It doesn't look like that's really mattered at all, as Vierchef is now almost a second back once again. So that gap starts to look a little bit closer, as is now 6th and 7th. It's 4/10 of a second between Abidi and Patel, but Patel will not make the move into turn number 1. So that's another little battle that we're just keeping a focus on, because this one for 6th and 7th could really do wonders for the likes of Tej Patel, who's done well actually so far over the course of these junior category events, and will definitely want an extra position. And that's trouble for Patel, as he has gone around almost, and he has somehow saved the car, but he has done incredibly well to keep that one all going nicely, albeit with the cost of a second. There you can see in the gravel, just catches the rears up in the air, and once you compression lock the rears like that, it's so tough to gather it back up. Somehow Tej Patel manages it as we caught it on replay, and we've got ourselves about 5 laps to go here in this event. Aditya Ayer, Vierchef, and then you've got 3rd position, Amitesh Rao at this moment in time. We've also got the battle now for 4th and 5th place. Prasanna Rajan has been closing that gap quietly down to just 7/10 of a second, I should say, at this moment. So in 5th place, Prasanna Rajan definitely wants through. He definitely needs to get through. Now, how will he get through? That's the next question here as they funnel through turn 4, the small kink on the exit, and then here the right of 5, which leads into the left of turn number 6. On the brakes they go. All nice and neat through there. So can Prasanna Rajan find 4th place with a lot of smoke to go through? It's almost like he's trying to drive through a forest fire. It's not ideal. Here's Vierchef though, looking for a good run here off the exit. Is there anything this lap by? As already you can see moving over to the right hand side of the road and back to the left. That's a case of trying to weave and break the draft, and Vierchef knows better than that. You'll lose more time weaving than you will breaking the toe. Through in towards turn number 1, locks up front again from one Mr. That is going to be your race leader, Aditya Ayer. So it can so very easily go right, it can so very easily go wrong. And Ayer is now focusing too much, you'd feel, on the driver behind. Little wiggle, they're trying to get the power down for Vierchef. So here they go in towards turn 5 and then turn 6. It looks like Ayer is taking very narrow lines everywhere and defending every corner. Make the car as wide as possible. Hold on from now to the end. Vierchef doesn't mind that though. We'll look for the run at turn number 1 as the best place to go out and attack. You can see the gap's down to under half a second between these two right now. And it's about power on the exit. Has Aditya Ayer got enough to hold off Vierchef, who has been waiting for this one? Has a little look to the mirrors on the inside, but now about runs off of the exit. Who's got what? Sheck pulling into the draft then for the race lead. Has he got enough? He'll have to go the long way around, surely you feel, to get this all working. There is traffic in front who is in 10th position, but now on the brakes they go. It looks like he has done enough, but Chef's going to go up and under here. Trying to pick it off, no! Contact between the pair, and they both go up and over. There, Chef will take the lead, just like that. The contact was there. You felt it was going to happen. He was trying to go up and under. It looked like he, wanted to try and cover it off. No, he'd already lost it then. And an innocent bystander was there, Chef. So Chef will take the race lead. Amitesh Rao now up into second, but Aditya, it looks like he's without the front wing and is trying to find a way through. No, he does have the front wing. That's Ver Shet who's leading this race, and all of a sudden, Aditya is now behind Ritesh Rai and Prasanna Rajan in 5th place with no downforce at a very downforce-dependent track. Rai has just locked up the brakes, and that will allow Prasanna Rajan the chance to attack and maybe steal a podium from 16th on the grid. Veya Sheth, though, is currently your race leader here. It will be Amitesh Rao in second. The gap is 3 seconds. How much damage has Veya Sheth got after that sort of contact? That's another thing that'll be just leaning in the mind. The gap is slowly closing here, but it might just be too little and too late at the moment. Rao is 5 seconds clear of Ritesh Rai in 3rd place. There is Prasanna Rajan in 4th position as well. Aditya Ayer has come in for a fast repair, will be out and away in 7th place at this moment. No, 8th place right now. So Prasanna Rajan in 4th, wants 3rd place. A couple of laps remaining here at Summit Point, and will need to try and find a way through very, very quickly. On the brakes into the right-hand corner of 5 and then 6. And again, it's not ideal for these two drivers. They have in front of them Ishan Bada, who is 1 lap down, or 3 laps down at this stage, and is lapped traffic to deal with here in the late stages of this race. So Prasanna Rajan needs a great run, and he's found it. That was a mistake, running wide, and Ritesh Rai rue the day here for him. He has lost out the podium to one Prasanna Rajan, who has driven a wonderful race here at this moment. Final lap starts then for everybody right now, and it's in the form of Veya Sheth who's got this, but it's not over for 3rd. Rai here could have an attack on the outside. It is defended here as they go on through. They're desperately begging the traffic to go through, and that's not ideal. Round goes Prasanna Rajan, who locked up the rears going on through. Suddenly trying to sneak away around. Is that one going to be another place lost here for Prasanna Rajan? The answer is no. That's a lap down Avinash Gupta, who's just gone by. But disaster on the final lap. That could have very easily have been a bigger mess than it was, but Ritesh Rai has picked up 3rd. No such worries for Veya Sheth, who played the patience game. Yes, got caught up in an incident late in the race that was definitely not his fault, but does not matter. Round 6 of your IERC Junior Championship is going to Veya Sheth without any real worries at all. There is Amitesh Rao, 2nd position in this one. Ritesh Rai will take 3rd place come the end after having a very, very big moment trying to just jam on the brakes late. No contact with Prasanna Rajan, who will just scoot home, maybe a little embarrassingly, to 4th place, with Aditya Ayer somehow managing late to pick up a top 5 finish ahead of Dushyant in 6th place and Tej Patel, who takes 7th right in the dying moments. There is Yadala Abidi there, who does not have a rear wing, so has run into problems as Abidi. So 8th place only there. It will be Majumdar who will round out 9. And then you can see who will be coming home 1 lap down. It will be Siddhar Snell rounding out the top 10. Avinash Gupta and then Debjit Dark are 11th and 12th. A Dark running into dramas late on. A lot of drivers in this field ran into trouble, especially lower down in the order, the likes of Janak Panchal, 1 lap down. You got Sharia Kapani, 2 laps down. Navneet Chowdhury is 2 laps down, as is Yash Kara. And Ishan Bada, 3 laps down, and 2 retirements for Prithvi KB and Jahan Noble means that is a bit of a disaster for those who were looking to try and get a few more positions in this race. But
The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.